Only when I died in that premeditated car accident did I realize I was nothing but a stepping stone in a romance novel. Su Weining, in order to save that man, 2 personally pulled out my oxygen tube, as cold as if she were throwing away trash. Living once more, 3 returning to the night before the engagement party, to the truth or dare game. This time I won't grovel, watching her humiliate me publicly to protect that man, for I smiled and kissed her most hated rival. Su Weining, why are you crying? Isn't this the outcome you wanted? 5. The private room was deafeningly loud, the music blaring, and my hand froze in midair. 6. 3 seconds ago, I lost in a dare, and amidst the crowd's jeers, 7. I tried to hug my fiancée Su Weining. Tomorrow is the engagement party. This should have been a natural interaction. 8. But Su Weining abruptly stepped back, disgust in her eyes cutting into me like a knife. 9. Stalemate. You reek of smoke, don't touch me. 0. In front of all the childhood friends and business partners, she trampled my dignity. Awkwardly, I withdrew my hand, forcing a smile. I just had a smoke in the hallway, sorry Weining, I'll go wash up. 2. Everyone exchanged glances, the atmosphere tense. Suddenly, an electronic voice exploded in my mind. 3. A sneer. Hilarious. This simp thinks it's the smoke problem. 4. She's saving herself for the male lead, okay? Anyone but him touching her makes her physically sick. 5. Watch, this fool is about to head to the bathroom and scrub himself raw. 6. But when he comes back, he'll see the female lead and male lead drinking a cross-cup toast. I froze. Who's speaking? 7. I scanned the room. Everyone wore different expressions, no one said a word. 8. A hallucination? As I wondered, the man in the corner moved. 9. Lu Ming, Su Weining's adopted younger brother she raised, known as the sickly one in the circle. 20. He coughed lightly, his pale face full of guilt, standing up with a glass. 21. Brother Jiangqi, don't blame Sister Weining. I'm not feeling well. 22. Sister Weining is worried about me, so she's in a bad mood. Let me drink this glass to apologize for her. 23. He raised his head to drink. Are you crazy? 24. You just recovered from a stomach bleed days ago. Su Weining, who had been avoiding me moments before, now rushed like a madwoman. 25. Grabbing the glass from Lu Ming's hand, her face full of worry and distress. 26. Isn't it just a dare? Do you have to force her like this? She turned to glare at me. 27. Her gaze colder than before. Jiangqi, how old are you? 28. Making a fuss over a game. You won't be satisfied until you see Lu Ming in the hospital, right? 29. I stood still, hands and feet ice cold. I hadn't said a word. 30. How did I force her? The voice in my head rang again, mocking like watching a show. 31. Here it comes, the classic scene. The female lead to protect the male lead. 32. Berates the supporting male for being narrow-minded. Jiangqi, even if you ripped out your heart for her. 33. In her eyes, it's less significant than Lu Ming's frown. After all, you're just a tool providing money and resources. 34. Once tomorrow's engagement party is over, the Jiang family assets will start being transferred to pave the way for Lu Ming. 35. Tool asset transfer. Watching this scene before me. 36. Su Weining tightly gripping Lu Ming's wrist, the two standing extremely close. That natural intimacy and protection. 37. I followed her like a dog for 5 years but never received it. 38. Weining, I didn't force her. I wanted to explain but my throat was dry. 39. Enough. Su Weining interrupted impatiently, raising that glass of strong alcohol. 40. I'll take the punishment for her. Isn't it just intimate contact? The next second. 41. The whole room was shocked. Su Weining took a sip of the drink, grabbed the back of Lu Ming's head. 42. And leaned in to kiss him. 10 seconds. Mouth-to-mouth wine transfer. 43. Humph. The private room exploded. Cheers. 44. Whistles in a chorus, even applause. I stood in the middle of the crowd. 45. Every drop of blood in my body running cold. So this was her so-called physiological cleanliness? So this was her 46. Dislike for public intimacy? Turns out her rules only applied to me. 47. Lu Ming blushed deeply, feebly resisting before accepting the kiss. When they parted, 48. A thin string of saliva even stretched between their lips. Lu Ming's eyes were dazed, his gaze toward me challenging. 49. Even as he pretended, Sister Weining, Brother Jiangqi is still here, this isn't good. Su Weining wiped her mouth. 50. Threw a cold glance at me, and said matter-of-factly, she personally pulled out my oxygen tube as coldly as throwing away trash. Living again once more. Returning to the night before the engagement party's truth or dare, This time I won't grovel, watching her humiliate me publicly to protect that man. I smiled and kissed her most hated rival. Su Weining, why are you crying? Isn't this the result you wanted? The private room was unbearably noisy, deafening music still blaring, my hand frozen in midair. 3 seconds ago I lost at truth or dare, urged on by that group of people. I wanted to hug my fiancée Su Weining. Tomorrow is the engagement banquet, this should have been a natural interaction. But Su Weining suddenly stepped back, the disgust in her eyes like a knife, stabbing straight at me. Deadlock. You reek of cigarette smoke, don't touch me. She trampled my face into the ground in front of all our childhood friends and business partners. Awkwardly, I withdrew my hand, forcing a smile. I just had one in the hallway, sorry Weining, I'll go wash up right away. The people around exchanged glances, the atmosphere frozen. Suddenly an electronic voice exploded in my mind. All sarcastic. Hilarious, this simp side character still thinks it's about the smoke. The female lead is saving herself for the male lead, alright? Anyone but the male lead touching her causes physical disgust. Watch, this fool is about to go to the restroom and scrub himself raw. As a result, I come back and see the female lead and male lead drinking cross-cupped wine. I froze. Who's speaking? I glance around, everyone has different expressions, no one speaks. Auditory hallucination? As I'm puzzled, the man in the corner stirs. Lu Ming, Su Weining's adopted younger brother whom she supported since childhood, known in the circle as a sickly person. He coughs lightly, his pale face full of guilt, standing up holding a wine glass. Brother Jiangqi, don't blame Sister Weining. It's because I'm not feeling well. Sister Weining was worried about me and is in a bad mood. I'll drink this glass to make amends to you for her. With that, he tilts his head back to drink. Are you crazy? You just recovered from gastric bleeding a few days ago. Su Weining, who just now couldn't avoid me fast enough, now looked like a madwoman. She rushed over in one step, snatched the glass from Lu Ming's hand, her face full of anxiety and distress. It's just a truth or dare. Is it necessary to push him this hard? Su Weining turned to glare at me. His gaze turned even colder. Jiangqi, how old are you? Can't you let a game go? Are you only happy if Lu Ming ends up in the hospital? I stood there, frozen, my hands and feet ice cold. I didn't say a word. Why are you pushing her so hard? The voice in my head chimed in again, laced with amused mockery. Here it comes, the classic scene. The female lead berating the male lead's love rival for being petty. Jiangqi, oh Jiangqi, even if you ripped out your heart for her. In her eyes, it wouldn't matter as much as Lu Ming's slightest frown. After all, you're just a tool to provide money and resources. Once tomorrow's engagement banquet is over, the Jiang family assets will start being transferred to pave the way for Lu Ming. Tool asset transfer. Watching this unfold before me, Su Weining tightly gripping Lu Ming's wrist, the two of them standing far too close. That natural intimacy and protectiveness. I had followed behind her like a dog for 5 years and never once received. Weining, I wasn't forcing her. I tried to explain but my throat went dry. Enough. Su Weining cut me off impatiently, picking up that glass of hard liquor. I'll take the punishment for her. Isn't it just some intimate contact? The next second, the entire room was stunned. Su Weining took a sip of the liquor, grabbed Lu Ming by the back of the head, leaned in and kissed him. 10 seconds long, mouth to mouth, passing the drink. Ha! The private room erupted, jeers, whistles filling the air and even applause. I stood in the middle of the crowd, my blood running cold. This was her so-called physiological aversion? This was her saying she didn't like public displays of affection, so her rules only applied to me. Lu Ming's face was bright red. He pushed back twice but then surrendered to the kiss. When they parted, a thin strand of saliva even connected their lips. Lu Ming's eyes were dazed, and he shot me a provocative look. But he still pretended. Weining, Jiangqi is right here. This isn't right. Su Weining wiped her mouth, gave me a cold glance and said with utter nonchalance, it's just a game punishment. To keep you from harming your health by drinking, Jiangqi is the most magnanimous. She wouldn't be as petty as you. The bullet comments in my mind are going wild, so green, so green. I dub him the king of the Green Plains. This male supporting role is pitiful too. The engagement is tomorrow. Tonight his head is a racetrack. Pitiful? She's just a masochist. Bet you next second she'll smile and forgive, then order fruit platters for these two. Such a spineless simp. I should add king of cucks at the end. Killed by this pair of dogs and sluts. No corpse left intact. Those 4 words strike like lightning, splitting open my mind. All that so-called deep affection of mine. In the eyes of others it was so cheap and laughable. Looking at Su Weining's cold face, my stomach churns. 5 years. For her I gave up studying abroad. I worked as a nominal deputy at Su Corp, cleaning up all her messes. On a snowy day she said she wanted chestnuts. I ran across half the city, hands covered in frostbite. She only said they were cold and didn't taste good. I thought she was an iceberg that if I was hot enough I could melt her. Turns out she's fire. Burning only for someone else. Jiangqi, what are you spacing out for? The next round's starting. Su Weining frowns harder when I don't speak. Don't put on that dead face. We're here to have fun. Don't kill the mood. Fun? Yeah, you guys are having fun. I take a deep breath, but the rage in my chest dies out instead, leaving only ashes. I tug at the corner of my mouth, flashing the first genuine smile tonight. All right. Let's keep playing. I want to see how far this farce can go. Even heaven can't stand it. This round I lose again. Jiang Xiao again. Wang Kai, my childhood friend, holds the cards and looks at me with a complicated expression. Then at Su Weining wanting to bail me out. How about we skip it this time? Self-punish with 3 drinks. Why skip? Su Weining suddenly speaks up. If you're playing the game, you follow the rules. Lu Ming already took his punishment. Can Jiangqi not handle it? She's still upset about my earlier silence, trying to use this to knock me down. Wang Kai shuts up awkwardly and hands me the draw tube. I pull out a slip at random. When I see the words, the whole room goes dead silent. Tongue kiss with one heterosexual present for 1 minute. In the past, this was a freebie. I would have looked at Su Weining with joy, only to be rejected, then awkwardly drink an apology with a forced smile. But today, everyone instinctively looks at Su Weining. She sits on the couch, arms crossed. Her expression cold, she leans to the side and whispers to Lu Ming, as if soothing him from the shock of that kiss from earlier. Her attitude is clear. Don't come to me. Too dirty. The voice in my head starts again. Here it comes, the most pathetic male supporting role moment. The female lead is about to say, don't touch me, I find you disgusting. Just drink yourself. Then the male supporting role will down a bottle of whiskey in tears, end up in the hospital with gastric bleeding. The female lead won't even glance. Straight takes the male lead to a hotel room. This plot is so angsty it makes my liver ache. Does this male supporting role have no backbone at all? Backbone? I do. My fingers holding the slip turn white. Since you, Su Weining, find me disgusting, since I'm just a tool you can discard anytime, then I'm done playing this act. I lift my head. My gaze passes over Su Weining and lands on the woman in the corner of the booth. Su Weining's nemesis. The business world's red rose, Yiqingcheng. She's in a wine-red slip dress, swirling a glass of red wine. As if none of this concerns her, I step forward and walk toward her. Su Weining senses something wrong, whips her head around, frozen. What are you doing? Right over there. I ignore her and walk straight up to Yiqingcheng. Looking down at her, Yiqingcheng raises an eyebrow, surprise flickering in her peach blossom eyes. Then it turns into amusement. Young Master Jiang, to what do I owe the pleasure? I bend down, placing my hands on the sofa back on either side of her, trapping her in my shadow. My voice hoarse, every word clear. President Yi, could you do me a favor? I want to win 1 round. The whole place erupts. Everyone stares at me like I'm insane. Who doesn't know Jiangqi is Su Weining's ultimate simp? Who doesn't know Su Weining and Yiqingcheng have been at each other's throats for 3 years, irreconcilable? And I, right in front of Su Weining. Her nemesis Yiqingcheng laughed and set down her glass. Her fingers hooked onto my tie, gave it a gentle twist, and the distance between us shrank instantly. Her breath nearly touching mine. Jiangqi, have you thought this through? Her words were soft as silk. If you use me as your blade, there will be a price to pay. As long as it cuts away the rotten flesh, I'll pay any price. I stared into her eyes. Yiqingcheng laughed, a bold grin spreading across her face. Deal. Before the words faded, she wrapped her arms around my neck and kissed me. A soft sensation exploded between our lips, carrying the scent of red wine. I didn't pull back. I held the back of her head and deepened the kiss. It was an outlet. An act of revenge but also of despair. There was no tenderness, only biting and entanglement. The private room erupted in noise. A glass shattered into pieces. Su Weiniang shot to her feet, her face ashen, staring at us with venom. Jiangqi let her go. Her voice screeched, completely unhinged. The usually icy Su Weiniang now looked like a cat whose tail had been stomped on. I ignored her until a full minute passed. Yi Qingcheng, breathless, pushed me away and I let go. Her lips were swollen, her eyes glinting with provocation as she looked at Su Weiniang. Turned, wiped the lipstick stain off the corner of my mouth, and met Su Weiniang's twisted face with a surge of satisfaction. This taste of revenge. This is the kind of drama adults should watch. Su Weiniang rushed over, her hand raised to strike. Jiangqi, are you disgusting? Kissing another woman right in front of me. Where do you think I stand? I grabbed her wrist. This was my first act of defiance. Her wrist was so thin it felt like it might snap with a little force. Looking at her reddened eyes, I sneered. Disgusting? Su Weiniang, when you were feeding Lu Ming wine mouth to mouth right in front of me, did you not think that was disgusting? You're allowed to set the house on fire, but I can't even light a candle? Su Weiniang froze. She never expected the once docile Jiangqi to speak to her like this. That was just a game to help Lu Ming avoid drinking too much. She gritted her teeth in defense, her tone softening. Mine is a game too. I let go of her hand. Lost a dare, gotta take the punishment. Wasn't that what you just taught me? Su, isn't holding a double standard a bit inappropriate? You. Su Weiniang was speechless with rage. Lu Ming quickly stepped in, his eyes reddening as he tugged at Su Weiniang's sleeve. Weiniang, don't be mad. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have let you drink for me, making Jiangqi do this to get back at you. He turned to me with a pitiful expression. Brother Jiangqi, blame me if you must, but please don't hurt Weiniang. Tomorrow is your engagement party. Don't ruin your relationship over a moment of impulse. In the past, hearing this would have softened my heart, made me reflect. But now, with that damned foreknowledge, I found his acting disgustingly amateurish. Engagement party? I let out a light laugh, my gaze sweeping over the two of them. Under everyone's gaze, I took off the couple's ring I'd worn for 5 years. Ding! A crisp sound as the ring fell into the nearby trash can. Cancel it, I said flatly. The room fell into dead silence again. Su Weiniang's eyes went wide, as if she'd heard something absurd. Jiangqi, what did you say? Say that again. I said this wedding is off. I looked straight at her, my eyes calm. Su Weiniang, we're done. I'm not playing your game anymore. With that, I didn't spare her another glance, grabbed my coat and headed for the door. Jiangqi, stop right there. Su Weiniang screamed hysterically behind me. If you walk out that door today, you can never come back, and you can kiss the Jiangsu partnership goodbye. Threats? Always the same. I used to be afraid of making her angry, of driving the families apart, of her getting hurt. But now that I know my inevitable end, knowing that the Jiang family would be swallowed up by her, I couldn't care less. I kept walking. I pulled open the private room door. Yi Qingcheng followed with her bag. As she passed Su Weiniang, she casually dropped a line. Thank you for the hospitality, President Su. The man you don't want, I'll take. In the corridor, the cold wind blew the alcohol away. Yi Qingcheng was already leaning against the wall, holding a slim cigarette. Her eyes were probing. Jiangqi, nice act. Just to spite Su Weiniang, you dare to joke about the Jiang family business? She didn't believe I really broke up. After all, in these 5 years my image as a pathetic simp was too deeply ingrained. I smiled and didn't explain. I pulled out my phone and right in front of her, blocked all of Su Weiniang's contact information. Then I dialed my assistant and instructed the PR department to release the engagement cancellation announcement at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Also withdraw all investments in the Su Group. The City South project currently under negotiation is to be halted immediately. On the other end of the line, the assistant stammered in shock. I didn't hesitate for a second. I hung up and looked at Yi Qingcheng. President Yi, do you believe me now? Yi Qingcheng paused for 2 seconds, then burst into a fit of laughter, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I like it. The barrage in my mind went wild. Ah, the male lead has truly awakened. This move is too cool. Withdrawing funding and halting projects. This is what a true CEO should do. But the plot reminds you, the female lead Su Weining hasn't taken it seriously yet. She's currently complaining about the male lead, saying Jiangqi is just playing hard to get. She bets he won't last the night, and will come crawling back like a dog, kneeling in the rain begging for her forgiveness. She even has a punishment ready. She plans to make him kneel and apologize publicly to Lu Ming tomorrow. Only then will she agree to continue the engagement. Hearing this, my fingers tightened around the phone. Kneel and apologize? Su Weining, you really are confident. The old Jiangqi might have done that. The current Jiangqi will only send you a big surprise. I turned to look at Yi Qingcheng, a smirk curling at the corner of my mouth. President Yi. That kiss just now only paid back half of the revenge. Tonight. Your place or a hotel? Yi Qingcheng flicked off the ash, gave me a deep look, and her red lips parted. My place. Half an hour later, Su Weining sent a text. Though I had blocked her on WeChat, a text from an unknown number still came through. The content reeked of condescending charity. Jiangqi, stop the tantrum and get back here. Lu Ming's stomach is hurting because of you. Go buy that pumpkin porridge he loves and bring it over. I'll pretend tonight never happened. Staring at the screen, I laughed in disbelief. I took a photo of Yi Qingcheng in a bathrobe drinking wine and sent it directly, with the caption, "Busy, warming the bed for my future wife." Less than 3 seconds after sending the photo, the electronic voice in my mind exploded, giving me a headache. Holy shit, that's so savage. Su Weining smashed her phone. That was a newly customized one. Screen shattered into pieces. Look. Lu Ming is starting to act. He's clutching his stomach and collapsing on the sofa, face pale. With that acting, the Oscars owe him a golden statuette. I'm dying of laughter. Su Weining was about to kill someone just now. Now she's scared white. She's holding Lu Ming and calling an ambulance. Lu Ming is still playing weak. Weining, don't blame brother Jiangqi, it's my body that's failing. Su Weining is heartbroken. She's crying and cursing the male lead as a beast, saying she'll tear him apart. I tossed my phone aside, listening to the live commentary in my head. I just found it amusing. This is Su Weining. Even if the evidence is right in front of her, as long as Lu Ming furrows his brow, she can throw away her brain. In her eyes, Lu Ming is fragile porcelain. I'm just sturdy scrap metal. The bed sank a little. A hand reached over, pulled me close and squeezed my foot. What? Still thinking about him? Yi Qingcheng's voice was lazy. I turned around. This female tycoon of the business world was currently propping her head up, looking at me with a half-smile. I was thinking the PR department of the Su Group probably has to work all night tonight. Yi Qingcheng chuckled, her finger tracing circles on my chest. Jiangqi, that move of yours is pretty ruthless. But Su Weining isn't someone to be trifled with, and that sickly look of Lu Ming's. He's even more of a master at manipulating public opinion. I know. I grabbed her hand, brushed it against my lips. So the real show is just beginning. That night I slept deeply. For 5 years. This was the first time I didn't set an alarm, didn't stare at my phone at midnight, afraid of missing a message from Su Weining. When I woke up again, it was already 10 in the morning. Yi Qingcheng had gone to the company. On the nightstand was a sticky note and a glass of warm honey water. Read your phone when you wake up. Interesting. Yi Qingcheng. I took a sip of water, picked up my phone. Sure enough, the internet was in an uproar. The top 3 hot search entries were all my name. Hashtag Zhang drives to death. Hashtag winning fiancé vicious. Hashtag Lu Ming resuscitation. I tapped on the pinned post. Lu Ming had posted it at 6 in the morning. In the photo, he was lying in a hospital bed, and 4 drip in his hand. His face deathly pale, his eyes fragile. The caption was very brief. Barely made it back. I don't blame anyone. It's my own body that's weak. Not blessed enough to drink that toast. As long as Weining is happy, a little suffering on my part doesn't matter. The victim vibes were overwhelming. The comment section was flooded with Su Weining's paid supporters and clueless netizens. Is Jiangqi even human? For the sake of jealousy, he pushes someone to the brink of death. I heard Lu Ming already had a severe stomach condition. Last night, Jiangqi forced him to drink. He vomited blood on the spot. Why doesn't this vicious male lead just die? CEO Su must have been blind. To get engaged to him. Boycott the Jiang family. Boycott all products of Jiang Group. Watching these curses, I was expressionless. If it were before, I would have panicked. I would have called Su Weining to explain, posted an apology on Weibo, or even gone to the hospital to kneel before Lu Ming, just to calm Su Weining's anger. Now, I only found it noisy. The system pop-ups in my mind became active again, carrying a tone of schadenfreude. Host, you've been shredded by the insults. How can you still be so calm? That Lu Ming is something. He bought off the marketing accounts and edited last night's video with such twisted editing, only showing you forcing him to drink, cutting out the entire part where you were humiliated. Su Weining is also fanning the flames. She just accepted a phone interview with a financial reporter, hinting she would reconsider. She's trying to put you to death. I put down the water glass, walked to the floor-to-ceiling window, and looked down at the traffic below. System, did you get the stuff? Heh. Already prepared. Detected key prop. Real medical examination report stored in the cloud database of City Central Hospital. Got to say, this Lu Ming is really something. Was that vomiting blood last night? That was overeating. And there's an even more explosive bonus. Does the host want to take a look together? I'll send it to you all at once. The next second, 2 documents were transmitted to my phone. One was Lu Ming's emergency record from last night. The other was a surveillance video from 3 years ago. After reading both, I laughed out loud. So that's how it is. This is Su Weining's treasured lifesaver. This is the fragile Lu Ming who could shatter at any moment in her words. My phone suddenly vibrated. The screen showed 3 words. Su Weining, coming to interrogate me. I answered the call. Before I could speak, her icy voice came through. Jiangqi, are you satisfied now? Lu Ming is still in the ICU under observation. The doctor said it almost caused a gastric perforation. Your impulsiveness almost killed him. If you still have any conscience, make a video apology immediately and admit you forced Lu Ming. Otherwise, don't blame me for using Su Group's power to blacklist you. I see. Gastric perforation. Hearing these words, I only found them absurd. Su Weining. I interrupted her. Did you go ask the doctor? Or are you just taking Lu Ming's word for it? What do you mean? Su Weining's tone turned colder. Are you saying Lu Ming lied with his own life? Jiangqi, you've disappointed me so much. Making mistakes is not terrible. What's terrible is that you don't even have the courage to admit it. Disappointed? I let out a laugh. When it comes to that word, you're not qualified to compare with me, Jiangqi. Beep. Incoming call from Su Weining. Lu Ming? So this is what you call no bleeding and a life-saving grace? Send. After doing all this, I put my phone on silent, lay back on the bed, and let the bullet fly for a while. At the same time, in the VIP special care ward of the city center hospital, Su Weining listened to the busy tone on the phone, her chest heaving with anger. She dares to hang up on me. She actually dared to hang up on me. She gripped the phone tightly, her knuckles turning white. On the hospital bed, Lu Ming weakly opened his eyes, his voice like a mosquito's buzz. Sister Weining, don't be angry. Brother Jiangqi might just be having a moment of confusion. I don't blame him, really. Looking at Lu Ming's pale face, Su Weining's anger instantly turned into guilt. Last night, Lu Ming was in such pain. The sight of him covered in cold sweat was vivid in her mind. If it hadn't been for the timely medical attention, the consequences would have been unthinkable. And that bastard Jiangqi was still being sarcastic. Don't worry, Xiaoming. Su Weining held Lu Ming's hand. This time I will never let her off easily. Whether for your sake or for the Su family's face, I will make her pay. The ward door was suddenly pushed open. The PR department of the Su Group manager rushed in with sweat all over his head, not even knocking. President Su. Something happened. A big incident. Su Weining frowned and hissed. What's the panic? This is a hospital, keep your voice down. Did Jiangqi post an apology video? The PR manager's face turned ugly, holding up a tablet, his voice trembling. Not an apology, President Su. See for yourself. It can't be suppressed anymore. The whole internet is exploding. Su Weining's heart skipped a beat. She snatched the tablet. On the screen, Jiangqi's newly posted Weibo had shot to #1 on the trending list, followed by a deep red explosive symbol. Jiangqi evidence chain looming indigestion. Su Weining blind. Su Weining's finger trembled as she tapped to open the first picture. It was the electronic emergency medical record from last night at the city center hospital, clearly stating, patient name, Lu Ming, visit time, 22:45, chief complaint, abdominal pain, bloating for 2 hours, physical examination, abdominal distension, tympanic percussion, diagnosis, functional dyspepsia, acute gastric dilation, commonly known as indigestion. Medical advice, patient ingested excessive high oil, high spicy food, spicy crawfish, iced beer, hot pot with chili oil, resulting in insufficient gastrointestinal motility. Recommendation, fast for 24 hours, take oral digestive tablets, eat less spicy hot pot. Su Weining's mind went blank. She recognized every word, but together they read like an alien script. At that moment, spicy crawfish digestive tablets. Wasn't Lu Ming tossing and turning in pain last night? Didn't he say his old illness had relapsed? She had been so worried she didn't sleep all night, staying by his bedside thinking he was vomiting blood, but it turned out he just had indigestion. A sense of absurdity struck her nerves. Dizzy, she stiffly swiped to the next picture. Lu Ming's food delivery order record. Last night at 8 p.m., before heading to the party, he ordered 5 pounds of spicy crawfish at a trendy restaurant, plus 2 servings of extra spicy bullfrog, with the note, extra spicy. Restaurant too spicy, no scallions. Su Weining abruptly looked up at the hospital bed. Lu Ming was pretending to sleep with his eyes closed. Sensing the tense atmosphere, his eyelashes trembled, but he didn't dare open them. Xiaoming. Su Weining's voice trembled. Not from heartache but from shame. Before she could question him, the PR manager cautiously reminded, President Su, there's also that video. Su Weining mechanically clicked on the video. A surveillance video timestamp showing a rainy night 3 years ago. That was the day Su Weining was most grateful to Lu Ming. That day she was surrounded by thugs. Lu Ming rushed in to take a knife for her, his arm dripping with blood, needing over a dozen stitches. Because of this injury, Lu Ming's arm had lasting effects, unable to lift heavy objects. This was the fundamental reason Su Weining always complied with him, and even hurt Zhang Qi repeatedly for his sake. The video starts. The alley is empty. Lu Ming stands alone in the corner. Holding a sharp piece of glass, she looked around to make sure no one was watching. Gritting her teeth, she slashed her own arm. Blood welled up as she winced in pain. But she flashed a sinister smile, then tossed the glass shard into the drain. Covering the wound, she fell to the ground and screamed for help, waiting for Su Weining's car to pass by. The video ended. The hospital room was dead silent, save for the white mist rising slowly from the humidifier. The barrage in her mind scrolled away where Su Weining couldn't see. Ha 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 ha. I'm dying of laughter. This is the legendary life-saving favor? She cut herself. She's a beast. The female lead takes surveillance as evidence and self-harm as self-sacrifice. If she doesn't need those eyes, she can donate them. I just want to know, does Su Weining's face still hurt now? Last night, she trampled Zhang Qi underfoot for this so-called savior. Now the truth comes out. The real clown is her. This isn't being blind, it's missing a brainstem. Su Weining felt her face burning, as if she had been slapped hard. All her pride, all her righteous indignation, crumbled and shattered at that moment. She thought she was protecting a fragile, pure angel. Turns out she was just feeding a greedy, hypocritical viper. Lu Ming, Su Weining's voice was as cold as ice. The Lu Ming lying in the hospital bed couldn't fake it anymore. Opening her eyes and seeing the tablet in Su Weining's hand, her face turned whiter than when she was pretending to be sick. Sister Weining, let me explain. She panicked, trying to sit up, but moved too suddenly and yanked the 4-line, letting out a cry of pain. In the past, Su Weining would have softened whenever she frowned, but not this time. Su Weining only stared at her coldly, with a stranger's gaze. She slammed the tablet hard onto Lu Ming's blanket. Explain? Explain how you ate too much and ended up in the ER? Or explain how you slashed yourself that night and fooled me for 3 whole years? Lu Ming looked at the evidence on the screen, trembling all over. It was over, but she still tried to fight back. Tears streamed down her face. She knelt on the bed with a thud and grabbed Su Weining's sleeve. Sister Weining, I lied to you, but it was all because I love you too much. I'm just an orphan. I have nothing. I was afraid I wasn't good enough for you. Afraid you wouldn't need me. I had to use this way to make you remember me and make you care. As for last night, I was insanely jealous that Zhang Qi was engaged to you. My heart aches, so I took revenge. I'm sorry, Sister Weining, but my feelings for you are real. In the past, Su Weining might have been moved, but now looking at that snotty tear-streaked face, she only felt disgust, utter disgust. She yanked her hand away from Lu Ming, stepping back as if touching something filthy. Because you love me? So you treated me like a fool? Because you love me? So you framed my fiancé? At the mention of her fiancé, Su Weining's heart twinged sharply. She thought of Jiang Qi, the man who would always follow behind her, quietly cleaning up messes, no matter how much injustice he suffered, and still smiled and said it was fine. Last night, for this liar in front of her, she had publicly humiliated Jiang Qi. Even when Jiang Qi was being cyberbullied, she had forced him to apologize. What was Jiang Qi thinking then? Had he already seen through everything, watching her scramble around like a joke? Su Weining took out her phone, trembling, and dialed Jiang Qi's number. This time it wasn't a busy tone. The prompt said, "The number you have dialed is powered off." At the same time, a text message popped up. The sender was Jiang Qi. Su Weining opened it. There was only one line. "This is just the beginning, CEO Su. Take a look at Su Corporation's stock price today." Su Weining whipped around to look at the PR manager. The manager huddled in a corner, holding up his phone timidly. "Yosu. Right now, Zhang Group has announced a complete withdrawal of funds and made public all the financial transaction details, proving that Su Corporation's projects have been draining Zhang family's resources for years. Public opinion has backfired. Netizens are all boycotting Su Corporation. Our stock price hit the daily limit down at opening." Su Weining staggered, her vision going dark. She steadied herself against the wall. Limit down. Fund withdrawal. Evidence chain. Jiang Qi was going to destroy her completely. Destroy Su Corporation. That man whose eyes once held only her really didn't want her anymore. Not only did he not want her, he was personally pushing her into the abyss. In the hospital room, Lu Ming was still whimpering and begging for mercy. Su Weining looked at him, then at the gloomy sky outside the window. She suddenly laughed, a harsh, grating laugh uglier than crying. "Get out!" She pointed at the door and yelled at Lu Ming. "Get the hell out!" Lu Ming was stunned, never having seen her so out of control. "Su Weining, Sister Weining, don't call me sister. I told you to get out. From today on, the Su family won't give you a single cent. Get out of my house." Lu Ming's face turned ashen, and he collapsed limply onto the bed. Su Weining didn't look at him anymore. She turned and rushed out of the hospital room. She had to find Jiang Qi. Even if she had to kneel and beg, she would make him stop, not for the Su Corporation stock price, but because she suddenly panicked, realizing that if she lost Jiang Qi, her world might truly collapse. The barrage comments in her mind continued, mocking her. Belated affection is cheaper than grass. Su Weining, stop running. It's useless. Right now your Jiang Qi is sitting in Yi Qingqing's office, drinking 30-year-old red wine, watching your stock price crash. Now that's a satisfying story. Downstairs at Su Corporation, chaos erupted. Under the once glorious glass curtain wall, hundreds of unpaid workers and suppliers waving banners had gathered. Su Corporation, pay us back. Shameless company, defaulting on construction payments. Rotten vegetable leaves and stinky eggs were hurled at the tightly shut revolving doors. Security guards linked arms to block the entrance. Their faces were terrified. I sat in a black Maybach across the street, watching the show through one-way glass. I swirled my iced Americano, the ice cubes clinking. Can't take this already? Yi Qingqing sat beside me, swiping on a tablet, a mocking smile on her lips. Su Weining's mental fortitude is weak. Just 3 days after we cut off funding, the Southern City project halted. And she's already frantic as an ant on a hot pan. I took a sip of coffee. She's not frantic. She's scared. I know Su Weining too well. She's had it smooth her whole life. Her only setback was losing face as a kid. Old Master Su passed away early. I was like a guard dog, shielding her from bullets and knives, chewing through tough projects for her. She got used to being above everyone, used to squandering my hard work. Now that the party's over, she finally knows how cold the rain is. A barrage comment drifted through my mind. Satisfying. So satisfying. Seeing the female lead so frazzled, even my blocked ducks feel clear. This is nothing. The real drama is yet to come. That vampire Lu Ming. He's about to show his fangs. High energy warning ahead. Please prepare, host. Enjoy the annual drama of Dog Eat Dog. The car door opened. Assistant Chung got into the passenger seat. His face was full of excitement. President Jiang, President Yi, Su Corporation can't hold on any longer. The bank rejected their loan application. Their only option now is to sell assets or accept a takeover. Su Weining's secretary just called, begging us to go up and talk. I put down my cup, straightened my cuffs. Let's go. I looked at Yi Qingcheng. Time to clean up. Yi Qingcheng raised an eyebrow and reached out her hand. Our fingers intertwined. My pleasure. In the conference room. I knew this place well. In the past, I sat at the lowest seat. Like a waiter, I handed out documents, poured tea, and endured Lu Ming's provocative glances. Today I sit at the head. Su Weining sits across from me. 3 days gone and she's aged 10 years. Dark circles she can't hide. Her designer power suit hangs loose on her. When she saw me walk in hand with Yi Qingcheng, pain flashed in her eyes. Then she snapped angrily, Jiang Qi, do you have to be this ruthless? She slammed the table, her knuckles white. Divesting funds. Halting projects. Stirring up the suppliers. Do you know you'll destroy Su Corporation? This is the legacy my grandfather left me. Correction. I leaned back in my chair. Divesting is a business loss cut. Halting projects is because you have no money to pay wages. As for the supplier protests, pay your debts. It's only natural. How is that stirring them up, President Su? You're an adult. Speak with evidence. Yi Qingcheng laughed. She tossed a thick stack of documents on the table. Su Corporation's current financial state is worse than a beggar on the street. No one else dares to take on this mess. Su Weining stared at the acquisition contract. Gritting her teeth, 50 million? Why don't you just rob us? The Su Corporation building alone is worth over 500 million. That was before. I tapped the table. Now this building is mortgaged to the bank, the Southern City project faces huge penalties, and then there are the wages for those hundreds of workers, Su Weining. 50 million is to help you pay off your debts. You won't get a single cent. Su Weining trembled with rage. Her eyes reddened, holding back tears. Do you hate me that much? To get back at me, you don't even care about our past feelings? Feelings. Hearing those words from her lips was truly ironic. Before I could speak, the meeting room door burst open. Lu Ming rushed in, no longer in his hospital gown. He had changed into a branded casual outfit, his face still a little pale, probably from those 5 pounds of crayfish. Weining, sign it. Hurry up and sign. Lu Ming didn't even look at me. He dashed over to Su Weining, shaking her by the shoulders. Sell the company. Sell the properties under your name too. We need money. We have to go abroad. Dazed from the shaking, Su Weining stared at him in disbelief. Xiaoming, what are you talking about? This is Su Corporation. It's my grandfather's legacy. If I sell it, I'll have nothing left. What's the point of keeping it? Creditors are hounding us everywhere now. Lu Ming's face twisted. Weining, didn't you say you loved me the most? My stomach condition hasn't healed yet. The medical level in China isn't good enough. I need to go to the US for treatment. Without money, how can I get treated? Do you want to watch me die? Su Weining froze. She looked at the hysterical man before her as if seeing him for the first time. The old Lu Ming was gentle and considerate, always saying he didn't care about money, that he only wanted her. Now that Su Corporation was collapsing, he didn't care about her situation, only about how much cash he could squeeze out to squander. Xiaoming, that's my company. Su Weining's voice trembled. Can't you just stay and get through this tough time with me? Get through it? Lu Ming shrieked. How? With what? Su Weining, don't be naive. You're a pauper now. If I don't sell the company, am I supposed to follow you? And eat win together? Besides, this company was held up by Jiang Qi all along. Now that he's abandoned you, who do you think you are? Dead silence. Su Weining's eyes widened, her face pale. Those words stabbed straight into her heart. Even Lu Ming, who had been faking illness, admitted that Su Corporation was propped up by me. Only she had been living in the dream of being a strong woman. A barrage of comments flashed through my mind. Explosion. Explosion. Lu Ming just self-destructed like a truck bomb. Ha ha ha, that face, so real. Without money, who's going to keep playing the devoted lover? Look at the female lead's expression. like she swallowed 100 flies. I'm dying of laughter. So this is the true love she treasured? This? Just this? I watched the scene. Su Weiniing staggered. She turned to look at me. The light in her eyes shattered into desperate pleading. Suddenly she started rummaging through her bag, frantic. After a moment, her trembling hand pulled out something and placed it on the table, a red string bracelet. Hand-woven, old and darkened, with a cheap Lucky Charm bead dangling from it. Seeing that, my pupils contracted. 5 years ago, during Su Corporation's first crisis, I stayed up 3 straight nights. I went to a temple to pray for a red thread and wove it myself. Back then I said, Weiniing, this bracelet will protect you. As long as I'm here, Su Corporation won't fall. She had looked down on it at the time. Su Weiniing stared at the red string, tears falling. Jiangqi, do you still remember this? She choked up and tried to touch my hand. This is the token of love you gave me. You said you would protect me for life. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have hurt you for Lu Ming's sake. Can't we go back to how we were? I'll drive Lu Ming away. From now on, it'll just be the two of us. She wept pitifully, trying to revive old feelings. The old Jiangqi would have surrendered by now. Too bad, all I felt now was ridicule. Token of love? I stared at that dirty red string and sneered. Su Weiniing, your memory isn't so good. When I gave it to you back then, you said it was a cheap street stall item unworthy of your status. No, it's not suitable. Su Weiniing shook her head frantically. I treasure it. I've kept it with me all along. A hand cut in and violently knocked the red string away, sending it falling onto the dusty carpet. Lu Ming rushed over, stepped on it, and ground it under his shoe. What a piece of junk. Taking out this kind of trash to stir up emotions at a time like this? Lu Ming's face twisted in fury. He yelled at Su Weiniing. Su Weiniing, are you out of your mind? Sign the contract and take the money. Why waste words on this simp? Do you think a lousy string will make her turn back? Hurry up and sign. She ranted as she looked at the trash, saying just seeing it pisses her off. Su Weiniing froze. She stared at the kicked-off red string as if she had been slapped. In her mind flashed scenes of Jiangqi's bloodshot eyes, his wounded fingers, and the hope in his eyes when he handed her the red string. That was the sincerity she once threw away, now her lifeline, yet trampled underfoot by the man she loved most. Her chest ached fiercely. Lu Ming, what are you doing? Su Weiniing screamed, lunged like a madwoman to push Lu Ming away, and knelt on the ground to pick up the red string. The string was dirty, covered in dust and footprints. She frantically wiped it with her expensive sleeve. Tears dripped and bled into it. Don't touch it. Don't you touch it, she murmured, as if guarding a priceless treasure. Lu Ming stumbled back from the push, furious and humiliated. Su Weiniing, have you lost it? You pushed me for a piece of string? How much is this thing worth? Can it even buy a plane ticket to the US? Shut up. Su Weiniing snapped her head up. Her eyes were as fierce as a wolf's. I told you to shut up. Lu Ming was startled. He shrank back and muttered, it's just trash anyway. Su Weiniing held the red string and looked at me, startled. She shrank her neck and muttered, it's just trash anyway. Su Weiniing held the red string and looked at me, hope kindling in her eyes. Like a drowning person grasping at foam. Jiangqi, look. I care. I really do care. She crawled 2 steps, raised the red string in front of me, humble to the dust. I was ignorant before. I trampled on your feelings. Can you forgive me just this once? Just once. The meeting room was silent. Yi Qingcheng said nothing. A faint, knowing smile played on her lips as she twirled her pen. I watched Su Weiniing's tear-streaked face, then looked at the dirty red string. I felt nothing in my heart, even found it ridiculous. Cherish nothing when you have it. Pretend to be devoted when you lose it. I stood up and walked to her, the soles of my shoes muffled on the carpet. A dull thud. The light in Su Weiniing's eyes brightened. She thought I had softened. I bent down and reached out. Su Weiniing's hands trembled with excitement. She quickly handed me the red string. I took the red string, rough, bearing old marks. Jiangqi. Su Weiniing broke into a tearful smile. I knew it. You still can't bear to let go. A crisp snap sounded. I pulled out a silver Zippo lighter, flicked it, and a flame rose. Su Weiniing's smile froze. She stared at the flame in terror. Su Weiniing leaned toward the red string. Jiangqi, no. She tried to snatch it. I raised my hand, dodging her. The fire caught the red string. Cotton thread is flammable. The flame devoured that string, carrying 5 years of deep affection. Black ash fell, and the smell of scorched thread spread. No, Su Weiniang screamed, watching helplessly as the red string turned to ash. The firelight reflected in her eyes, as if it had burned through her soul. She thought that as long as she turned back, I would be there. As long as she brought out the token, I would forgive. But now the fire was out. I let go. The last charred end of the string fell into the crystal ashtray. Jiang Qi looked at the limp Su Weiniang as if at a stranger. Su Weiniang, you got one thing wrong. I pulled out a handkerchief to wipe my hands, as if I had touched something filthy. Trash belongs in the trash can. Whether it's this string or your so-called sincerity. With that, I tossed the handkerchief into the ashtray too, covering the ashes. Sign it. I turned and sat back in my chair. This is your last chance. In 10 minutes, the court seizure order will arrive. By then, you won't even get this 50 million. Su Weiniang slumped in her seat, staring blankly at the ashtray. Her world had collapsed. Host. At that moment, a sharp alarm sounded in her mind system. Red bullet comments flooded in. High alert. High alert. Critical plot node detected. Hidden mission triggered. An encrypted audio file about the truth of your previous life's death. Decoding in progress. 98%. 99%. Decoding successful. My heart skipped a beat. The truth of my death in my past life. Didn't I die in a car accident? Was that crash not an accident? The system's mechanical voice trembled. Host, I suggest you play this immediately. This wasn't just a car accident. It was a meticulously planned murder. And the mastermind is in this very meeting room. My gaze swept over Lu Ming, still scrambling for the contract. And Su Weiniang lost and dejected. I curled my lips into a bloodthirsty smile. So there's an unexpected bonus. Wait. Just as Lu Ming was about to hand over the contract, I spoke. Lu Ming's hand froze midair. It's already signed. Take a look. No rush. I connected to the conference room's Bluetooth speaker. Before the deal is finalized, I'd like everyone to listen to something. To commemorate Miss Su's lost love and Mr. Lu's impending prison sentence. My finger hovered over the play button. Everyone stared at me. Su Weiniang lifted her head in confusion. Lu Ming's eyes flickered with unease. I pressed play. The next second, a voice I knew all too well exploded through the conference room. The Bluetooth speaker in the conference room crackled twice, then Lu Ming's voice came through. This time there was none of that weak tone, only arrogance and venom. Mingji, are you really going to keep wasting time on that old hag? Just looking at her phony strongwoman act makes me sick. That was Lu Ming's friend's voice. Lu Ming laughed, his voice dripping with contempt. What do you know? All I have to do is fake being sick. Shed a few tears and she'll hand me her heart. Once I drain out Su Corp's last liquid funds, I'll be off to America to live the good life. As for her, she's nothing but an ATM that only knows how to make money. Once I'm tired of playing, who would still want secondhand goods like her? The recording stopped. No one spoke in the conference room. Everyone was staring at Lu Ming. The contract in Lu Ming's hand hadn't even been handed over. He was completely frozen. That greedy look from before was gone. His face collapsed instantly. Su Weiniang sat in her chair, as if all strength had left her. TM. Second-hand goods. She suddenly stood up, knocking over her chair. Lu Ming, is this fake too? Is this also AI generated? Say something. Lu Ming's eyes darted away. He took a step back, but she quickly realized. The contract was signed. Su Corp was sold. The money wasn't in hand yet, but Lu Ming had signed. 50 million couldn't escape. Since all pretense was off, there was no need to keep up the act. Lu Ming straightened his back. The panic on his face vanished, replaced by a vicious expression. Since you've heard it all, I'm done pretending. Lu Ming flicked his collar. A sneer curled on his lips. Su Weiniang, what part of you can compare to the young girls out there? Su Weiniang trembled with rage, raised her hand to slap him. Lu Ming grabbed her wrist and shoved her away. Su Weiniang, in her high heels, stumbled a few steps and fell onto the carpet. Don't touch me. You're disgusting. Lu Ming looked down at her, pure loathing in his eyes. All these years looking at your face. I've nearly thrown up my last meal. If it weren't for the money, who'd want to serve an old hag like you? Lu Ming, I'll kill you. Su Weiniang screamed, trying to get up and fight. Save it. I spoke from my seat at the head of the table. Mr. Liu. The contract is signed. When will the money arrive? I did play my part in your little show. Money? I laughed, pointing toward the door. I forgot to tell you earlier. That 50 million will first go to repay Su Corp's debts. A court freeze order took effect 3 minutes ago. That money will be transferred directly to the creditor's accounts. As for you. I paused, watching her smile freeze. Suspected of embezzlement and fraud. That recording just now? I already sent it to the Economic Crime Investigation Unit. The police should be here in about 30 seconds. Arriving on scene, Lu Ming's legs gave out. No, impossible. Jiangqi, you set me up. You'll die a miserable death. Su Weiniang, you useless waste. You ruined me. Why don't you just die? The curses faded into the distance. Only Su Weiniang, Yi Qingcheng, and I remained in the conference room. Su Weiniang collapsed on the floor. Her hair was a mess, her makeup ruined. She looked up at me. Jiangqi's eyes were hollow, her voice hoarse. You did all this to help me see her true face, didn't you? You still love me, don't you? Right? I stood up, straightened my suit, and walked over to her. Yi Qingcheng hooked her arm through mine, smiling brightly. Miss Su, a brain is a good thing, but you don't have one. The building has already been mortgaged. You have until today to move out. Your mansion, your car. All seized to pay off debts. Now you have nothing. With that, I left with Yi Qingcheng. Behind us, Su Weiniang's sobs echoed through the empty meeting room. A barrage of comments flashed through my mind. Satisfying. Too satisfying. Trash like them deserve this ending. Host, that move was a perfect 10. Savage. But the system prompts that Su Weiniang's psychological defenses haven't completely collapsed yet. She's still deluding herself that if she suffers enough. 3 days later, heavy rain poured, washing the streets. Su Weiniang huddled under the awning of a convenience store. Soaked through, the former CEO Su now wore a cheap t-shirt from a street stall. One high heel was broken. In her hand, she clutched a phone with a cracked screen. These 3 days, she'd had it rough. Friends blocked her. Business partners avoided her. Relatives shut their doors. Broke, she was kicked out by her landlord and ended up on the streets. Her phone vibrated. Su Weiniang glanced at it blankly. Then her pupils contracted. The caller ID read Jiangqi, her hands trembling. She answered, her voice choked with tears. Jiangqi? Is that you? A calm voice replied. There's something I need to return to you. Beep. The call ended. Su Weiniang froze for 2 seconds, then burst into wild joy. The old place. That was the private tea house they used to frequent, where Jiangqi had first confessed his feelings. She's still willing to see me. She must still have feelings. Su Weiniang grabbed at the lifeline. She frantically tidied her hair, then remembered something and pulled from her tattered bag a wrinkled dress, a light blue floral dress, the first gift Jiangqi had given her years ago. Back then she thought it was tacky and never wore it, shoving it into a corner of her closet. When she moved, she inexplicably brought it along. Was it because I was too domineering that he left? Su Weiniang muttered to herself, ducked into the convenience store restroom, and changed into the old, ill-fitting dress. She looked at her disheveled reflection in the mirror and forced a smile. As long as I become the person he liked, as long as I bow my head and admit my mistakes, he'll definitely come back. Jiangqi has always been soft-hearted. He can't bear to see me suffer. Braving the rain, she limped toward that old place. The Fresh Breeze Tea House. The room was filled with the scent of sandalwood, very quiet. I sat by the window, holding a black voice recorder. Yi Qingcheng wasn't there. For an occasion like this, Su Weiniang was on her own. The door opened and Su Weiniang walked in, drenched. The light blue dress clung tightly to her body. Her foundation had been washed away by the rain, leaving streaks of white. When she saw me, her eyes lit up. Pinching the hem of the dress, she walked over. Jiangqi, look. I still have the dress you gave me. She smiled ingratiatingly, her voice trembling. I was so clueless before. Actually, I really love this dress. Can we start over? I'll do whatever you say from now on. I won't be stubborn anymore. She reached out to grab my sleeve, but I sidestepped away. Glancing at the dress, I said, Su Weiniang. Her hand froze in midair. Sit. I gestured with my chin toward the chair across from me. Su Weiniang sat down carefully, perching on only half the seat. She stared at me, her eyes full of pleading. Jiangqi, I know you're still angry, If you'll forgive me, I'll do anything. Is that so? I slid the voice recorder toward her. Listen to this. If you still want to beg me to take you back, I'll give you a chance. Su Weiniing's eyes lit up. She thought it was a test or maybe my true feelings. Even if it was a scolding, she would accept it. I'll listen. I'll listen. Su Weiniing grabbed the recorder and pressed play. A voice came out, yet it sent chills through her. A death would be perfect, Lu Ming said coldly. That foolish woman has grown wary lately. She actually wanted to audit the accounts. Only the dead are truly safe. Su Weiniing's hand trembled, and the recording pin nearly slipped. Car accident. Dead. She stared wide-eyed at the device in her hand. The recording continued. But that's Chairman Su. What if they find out? Find out my ass. I already had someone tamper with the brake pads on that car. Once it rains, she's as good as dead. Then I'll just call it an accident. Then bribe that private doctor to produce a certificate of failed resuscitation. The Su family's massive insurance payout. That's ruthless. But Su Weiniing is utterly devoted to you. Devoted? Ha! Just looking at her face makes me sick. Always acting so high and mighty, ordering me around like a dog. Once she's a vegetable, I'll party by her bedside every day, and pull out her oxygen tube. Send her to hell. Pulled out her oxygen tube. Those words struck like lightning, smashing down on Su Weiniing's head. She trembled all over, her face deathly pale. Not from fear, but from recognition. Something in her mind seemed to tear open, and her head throbbed violently. Memories flooded in. In an instant, the smell of disinfectant lying in a hospital bed, tubes everywhere, unable to move, vision blurry. She saw Lu Ming, the man she had loved her entire life. He stood by the bed, smiling. Su Weiniing, why won't you just die? Do you have any idea how annoying your pathetic state is? To save you, I sold off all the family assets to give to me, begging me to cure you. Too bad. I took the money and I'm taking your life too. Then a hand reached for her breathing mask, pulled out the oxygen tube. Suffocation, despair, lungs about to explode. Outside the hospital room, the man who had rushed over, dusty from raising money for her, was on his knees kowtowing to the doctor. Su Weiniing suddenly coughed up blood, spraying it onto her skirt. Dazzling red. Remember now? I asked calmly. This was the ending she had originally prepared for you. Also your ending in the previous life. A system notification flickered in her mind. Awakening successful. Female lead's defenses completely collapsed. Comfort score max. This is what she deserves. Watching her spit blood, why do I feel like laughing? Su Weiniing slumped over the table, clutching her hair, roaring from her throat. Ah, she remembered. All of it. In the previous life, also a rainy night. She had a car accident, became a vegetable. Jiang Qi, the man she had despised and broken off the engagement with, stayed by her for 3 years. He sold his company, sold his ancestral home, went from being a golden boy to a pauper just to keep her alive. And she? She watched it all powerless. In the end, she saw with her own eyes Lu Ming pull out the oxygen tube. What shattered her even more was that after she died, Jiang Qi, to avenge her, jumped off a cliff holding Lu Ming, dying without a trace. I killed her. I killed her. Su Weiniing looked up, her face streaked with blood and tears, eyes wild. She stared at me as if I were a deity, yet as if I were the treasure she had destroyed. Jiang Qi, I'm sorry. She wanted to reach out and touch me, but found her own hands filthy. Remorse and hatred consumed her. The man she had loved her whole life was a venomous snake. The one who loved her with his life was trampled by her, killed by her. Why did you tell me? Su Weiniing cried uncontrollably, her nails digging into her flesh. Wouldn't it have been better to let me die like a fool? Why make me realize how terribly wrong I was? Because you owe me this. I stood up and looked at her. Su Weiniing, does it hurt? Good. Living with this pain is the greatest punishment for you. With that, I turned and walked away. Behind me came the sound of a chair falling over. Su Weiniing didn't chase after me. She stared at the fruit platter on the table. There was a fruit knife on it. The suffocation of having the tube pulled in her past life, the humiliation of betrayal in this life, and the guilt toward Jiang Qi, all mixed together, turning into fire. Since Jiang Qi didn't want her anymore, since her life was ruined, then let's go to hell together. Su Weiniing grabbed the fruit knife, her eyes vacant, wide open. She no longer looked at me. She turned and rushed into the rain, heading toward the police station, toward the place where Lu Ming was detained, and let out a roar. Lu Ming, I'll make you pay. Watching her figure vanish into the rainy night, I opened my black umbrella and stepped into the rain. Stepped into the rain. A system notification sounded in my mind. Ding. Main quest. Eliminate Su Weining. Completed successfully. Current satisfaction rating. SSS level. Host, where to next? I looked up at the sky and chuckled. After getting off work early this morning, I bought some jasmine flowers on the way. Waiting to see tomorrow's legal news. Rain poured outside, the city soaked through. I sat on the office sofa, swirling the whiskey in my hand, staring at the screen above. It was live streaming a fine dog-eat-dog drama. The footage shook. A paparazzo's hidden camera angle. The location. A cheap suburban apartment, Lu Ming's last hideout. Su Weining had tracked him down anyway. The system reported she had sold the last jade necklace her mother left her. Bought Lu Ming's address on the black market. The Miss Su who once turned her nose up at street stalls was now acting like a madwoman, slamming her body against the apartment door. Lu Ming, get the hell out here. I know you're in there. You killed me. You killed me. I'll make you pay. Her screams mixed with the thunder outside. Listening, the system in my head buzzed with excitement. Host, this Su Weining is off the charts fierce. Lu Ming was just bailed out by some rich woman and about to celebrate. She tracked him down right away. Got to hand it to you. That anonymous tip-off with the address was brilliantly played. I took a sip of my drink, expressionless. Since this is a revenge drama, the main players have to meet. Otherwise, how can the show go on? On screen, bang, the door flew open. Su Weining had smashed it with a fire extinguisher. The camera jolted wildly, then pushed inside. The living room was cramped. Lu Ming was drinking champagne with a heavily made-up woman. His new fling, the nouveau riche who had just spent big to bail him out. When he saw Su Weining, covered in mud and disheveled, he flinched. His glass hit the floor. Su Weining, how did you find this place? His face turned pale. He tried to hide behind the plump woman. Lu Ming. Su Weining's eyes were bloodshot. She dropped the fire extinguisher and lunged at him. No technique, no dignity. She opened her mouth and bit down, right into Lu Ming's face. Crazy bitch. Let go. Lu Ming screamed and struggled. The plump woman nearby swung her bag at Su Weining. Where did this beggar come from? How dare you hit my man? Security. Security. Chaos erupted. Su Weining's hatred was immense, but she was weak. On top of that, days of wandering had drained her. Soon she was on the losing end. Lu Ming recovered. His fear turned to cruelty. Damn it. You asked for this. He grabbed Su Weining by the hair and slammed her head into the coffee table. Bang. Glass shattered everywhere. Su Weining's face was covered in blood, but she was still laughing, a shrill laugh. Lu Ming, you can't run. I know you pulled out my oxygen tube. I know you killed Jiang Qi. Shut up. You're crazy. Lu Ming, stung by the truth, felt rage and shame. He lifted his foot and kicked the curled up Su Weining again and again. Once, twice, 3 times. He was venting all his fear and frustration. I'll beat you to death, you jinx. If it weren't for you, I'd have taken the money and gone to America. Pull out your oxygen tube. I'll send you to hell right now. Su Weining curled up among the glass shards, rolling and muttering. Jiang Qi. Save me. Jiang Qi. The livestream chat exploded. Holy crap. That's the devoted male lead? Beating a woman that badly? Su Weining brought it on herself. She drove Jiang Qi away for trash like him. Now she's getting what she deserves. It looks brutal. But why do I find it so satisfying? This is real evil. Evil gets its own punishment. The door crashed open. Someone pinned down the attacking Lu Ming. Freeze. Police. Lu Ming was handcuffed with his arms twisted behind him, face pressed against the broken glass. She attacked first. It was self-defense. Let me go. The officer coldly clicked the cuffs on. Lu Ming. You are suspected of massive fraud and intentional assault. Come with us. The plump woman saw the trouble and slipped away. As Lu Ming was dragged out, he passed by Su Weining. Lifting her bloodied face, she stared at him, then spat out a bloody gob. Pa! Only Su Weining remained. She lay in the mess, clothes torn, covered in footprints and blood. The police tried to take her to the hospital, but she screamed and shoved them off. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not going. She struggled to her feet, stumbled and rushed into the rain. I have to find Jiangqi. I have to find her. The screen went black. The live stream ended. I set down my glass and stood up, smoothing my neatly pressed suit. The system sighed. Host, she's running this way. Running barefoot. Probably half an hour away. Do you really want to see her? Right now she's probably not mentally stable anymore. The long-awaited wife-chasing crematorium she dreamed of. Only the fire burned a bit too fiercely, scattering even the ashes. Below the Zhang Group building the rain was heavy, the streetlights dim. Because of the live stream's popularity, quite a few media and passers-by had gathered downstairs. They held umbrellas forming a semicircle, raising their phones to film. In the center of the circle knelt Su Weiniing. She was drenched through, her wide skirt turned a murky gray, sticking to her body mixed with mud and blood. Her hair clung to her face like withered grass. Her bare feet were covered in cuts, blood water flowing with the rain into the drain. She knelt there shivering. He will come out. He will definitely come out. He could never bear to see me get soaked in the rain before. Whenever I forgot my umbrella, he would always come pick me up. The watching crowd pointed and whispered. That's that Su Weiniing. Wasn't she so arrogant before? In that live stream just now. She was beaten like a dog by Lu Ming. Now she's come crawling back to her ex to beg for a reunion. How shameless. If I were Jiangqi, I'd have security throw her out. Su Weiniing turned a deaf ear. In her world, as long as she turned back, the Jiang family would always be there. One cry, and the Jiang family would hand her the whole world. Bing! The censor door slid open. The crowd fell silent. The cameras focused on the doorway. Two people stood side by side, glamorous and radiant. Separated by two worlds from Su Weiniing, who sat in the muddy water. Seeing me. Su Weiniing's dim eyes lit up. It was a manic elation like a final flash before death. Chi! She called out, scrambling to her feet using her hands and knees, stumbling as she rushed toward me. Chi, you finally agreed to see me. She sobbed, opening her arms, trying to throw herself into my embrace. I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. I saw Lu Ming's true face. He's a beast. He's not human. I only love you. From start to finish. I only love you, Chi. Rushing too frantically, she slipped. Ignoring the pain, she crawled over on her knees, reaching out a hand stained with mud to grab my leg. Chi, take me home, please. I'm so cold. I'm really so cold. I won't be willful anymore. I'll be a good wife. I'll bear your children. Let's start over. Just like before, okay? Her hand was about to touch my pant leg. I took a step back. The movement was small but firm, as if avoiding garbage, as if fleeing from a plague. Su Weiniing grabbed empty air, her hand frozen mid-reach. She froze looking up at me. Rainwater streamed down her face, washing over her wounds, making her look grotesque and pathetic. Chi! Jiangqi glanced at the mud spots on his pant leg, frowning slightly. Yi Qingcheng took a pure white silk handkerchief from her bag and handed it to me. I took it bent down. Su Weiniing thought I was about to pull her up. Hope burst from her eyes. She reached out again. Chi, I knew you would. My hand didn't reach for her. Instead, I used that handkerchief, slowly and deliberately wiping the mud off my pant leg. The motion was unhurried, carrying a chill. Su Weiniing's expression froze. The shutter sounds around us went wild. Flashlights froze the scene. After wiping it clean, I merely straightened up and looked at her, my eyes calm. No anger, no mockery, only the indifference of looking at a stranger. Su Weiniing, I spoke. My voice mingled with the rain cold. Don't call me that name. Coming from your mouth. It makes me sick. Su Weiniing shuddered all over. Sick. She trembled, tears streaming as she wept. Chi, how can you say that? I'm Weiniing. The Weiniing you loved for 5 years. Those 5 years I was blind. My tone was flat. And now I'm cured. What you call love is nothing but a desperate stopgap. What you call regret is nothing but the unwillingness after losing an ATM. Su Weiniing, the filth on you. It's not these clothes that are dirty. I shook the stained handkerchief in my hand. It's you. And that heart of yours. Su Weiniing stared blankly at the handkerchief, now smeared with mud. With the grime she had splashed just now. I let go. The handkerchief fluttered down, landing precisely over her outstretched dirty hands. Like a white cloth covering a corpse. A standoff. Su Weining broke down, clutching the handkerchief and wailing in despair. How can you do this to me? I already know I was wrong. I'm like this now. Why can't you forgive me? I remember my past life. I know I owe you a life. Can't I pay it back with the rest of my life? She slammed her forehead against the concrete ground, thud thud. Please don't abandon me, don't leave me behind. Watching her like this, I feel nothing. There was a time when her furrowed brow would break my heart. Now, watching her kowtow until she bleeds, I only find it grating. The system barrage scrolls by. Tisk tisk, is this the belated affection that's worth less than weeds? President Su, don't bother with her. People like her never realize where they went wrong. She just can't handle the shift in status. Let's go. Every extra second with trash like this is a waste of life. I turn around and stop looking at her. Yi Qingcheng loops her arm through mine, the umbrella completely shielding me, blocking out the storm behind us. Let's go, President Jiang. Yi Qingcheng's voice carries a cool tone. Getting drenched for someone like her. Not worth it. I reply. A black Maybach glides up. It stops at the bottom of the steps. The bodyguard opens the door and I get in. Seeing that I'm about to leave, Su Weining scrambles to her feet like a madwoman trying to block the car. Jiangqi, don't go. You can't leave. Take me with you. Even if I have to be your dog. Don't leave me here alone. The security guards rush over and pin her down. She struggles violently, her fingernails scraping against the ground. The sound is piercing. Through the car window, I take one last look at her. Rain blurs the glass. Outside the window, the tinted glass slowly rises. It shuts out the noise, shuts out the storm, shuts out that woman. Thud. The car door locks. The world falls silent. Drive, I say to the driver. The car starts moving. The tires roll through accumulated water, splashing onto Su Weining's face. In the rearview mirror, she lies sprawled in the muddy water, clutching a filthy handkerchief in her hand, as if melting into the mud in the rainy night. Yi Qingcheng takes red wine from the car's refrigerator and pours 2 glasses. President Jiang, that was a beautifully executed move. She hands me a glass. To absolute clarity. Cheers. I take the glass. The clink is crisp. To a new beginning. I drink it all in one gulp. Outside, the storm still rages, but my world has already calmed. 3 months later. Until March, the cold still bites to the bone. I stand at the courthouse entrance. The police car has just driven off. Behind the iron bars, Lu Ming's face presses against the car window. His features are twisted, his gaze ashen. Multiple charges combined. Life imprisonment, embezzlement, attempted murder, commercial fraud. That so-called pure-as-white foster brother of Su Weining's is going to be sewing prison uniforms for the rest of his life. I heard that when the verdict was read, he wet his pants, screaming for Sister Weining to save him. Too bad his sister Weining can't hear him anymore. I pull my coat tighter and walk toward the black sedan by the roadside. To the 4th Psychiatric Hospital. Driver Old Jiang freezes for a moment, glancing in the rearview mirror. President Jiang? Are you really going to a place like that? Heading back? Paying respects to an old acquaintance. I lower the car window. Light a cigarette. Final glimpse. Perspective. The 4th Psychiatric Hospital, high walls, barbed wire, gray buildings. The air is thick with disinfectant, mixed with the smell of mildew and decay. Mr. Jiang, this way, please. The attending physician leads the way. His leather shoes echo against the terrazzo floor, a hollow resonance. The patient's condition is very poor, the doctor says as he flips through the file. Severe schizophrenia, accompanied by advanced delusional disorder. She refuses to eat, refuses to communicate. Most of the time she lives in her own hallucinations. Even sedatives are becoming less effective. I flick the ash from my cigarette and don't respond. On both sides of the corridor are iron doors. Occasionally screams, or the sound of someone banging against walls drift out. The doctor stops in front of an iron door. She's in here. For safety, you can only view her through the observation window. I lean close to the one-way glass. The room is dark with no windows. The walls are padded. In the corner, a figure curls up. If the doctor hadn't confirmed it, I wouldn't recognize her as Su Weining, the former President Su who always wore high heels. Now she's clad in an oversized hospital gown, skin and bones. Her hair is cut short, a tangled mess, and her eyes are sunken deep. She clings tightly to a pillow. The pillowcase is filthy, blackened, with holes letting out clumps of cotton. Yet she holds it like a treasure, gently patting it, humming a tune. Achee. Through the glass. I can read her lips. She's calling for me. There's no stir in my heart. It feels like watching an irrelevant silent film. Su Weiniang moves. She pulls a clump of cotton from a hole in the pillow, cradles it in her palm, and gives a foolish smile to the air. Achee, it's chestnuts. She hands the dirty cotton to the pillow. Her gaze tender. These are freshly roasted, still warm. I don't mind the heat. I'll shell them for you. She seriously tears at the cotton, pretending to remove a shell, her movements practiced, as if she really holds piping hot sugar-roasted chestnuts. You used to buy them for me. You said they taste bad when they're cold. Su Weiniang's face was pressed against the pillow, tears streaming down, mixed with the dust on her skin. Now I'll let you hug me, okay? Don't be mad. I don't mind your cold hands anymore. He grabbed the corner of the pillow, desperately shoving it into his arms. The cigarette burned out, scorching his fingers. I remembered the heavy snow 5 years ago. He said he wanted chestnuts. I ran across half the city, waited in line for 2 hours. I tucked the chestnuts into my coat, handed them to him with my hands bright red from cold. He pushed them away. They reeked of smoke. They're filthy and cold. Who would eat this garbage? He threw the chestnuts into the trash bin, smiling and saying he'd buy better ones next time. Now he was hugging a torn pillow, treating the stuffing as chestnuts, crying and begging me to eat. How ironic. In my mind the system lit up. A blue light screen appeared, and a barrage of comments scrolled past. If you knew this would happen, why did you do it in the first place? It's satisfying to watch, yet also feels so pitiful. Is this the ending he wanted? Living in an illusion of regret, repeating the pain of loss over and over. Belated affection is cheaper than grass. Su Weiniang, your garbage died long ago on that rainy night. This stalemate now is a twisted stalemate. I watched the comments and twitched the corner of my mouth. Su Weiniang kept going. She thought the garbage refused to eat and grew frantic. Eat it. Why won't you eat? She became hysterical, desperately pressing the cotton stuffing into the pillow. Is it that bastard looming again? Won't let you eat? Achi, take me home. It's so dark here. I'm scared. The doctor pressed the alarm. 2 orderlies rushed in. They held Su Weiniang down and injected a sedative. She struggled, her gaze fixed straight at the one-way glass. All despair and pleading. Achi. She reached out her hand, nails broken, covered in blood and dirt, trying to grab something. The drug took effect. She collapsed to the floor like a pile of mud. Her lips still moved. Chestnuts hot. I crushed the cigarette butt and tossed it into the trash. Let's go, I said to the doctor. As I turned, an electronic voice sounded in my mind. Ding. Detected host's fate line has been completely rewritten. The vicious female supporting character has exited. The villainous male supporting character has been brought to justice. The crisis has been resolved. Revenge mission completion rate 100%. System unbinding process initiated. 3, 2, 1. Goodbye, host. May you, under the sunlight, possess a life truly your own. The light screen flickered twice and dissipated. The noise in my mind vanished. The world fell silent. No spoilers, no comments. No wind, only the steady, strong sound of a heartbeat. I walked through the corridor. The sound of my leather shoes was clear. With each step, the darkness behind grew fainter. Su Weiniang, Lu Ming, the car accident in the past life. The betrayals in this life, all those rotten matters, finally left behind this iron door. I pushed open the hospital entrance. Whoosh. Sunlight poured down, blinding. Just moments ago it was a cold, dim corridor. Now the sun blazed bright. The streets were bustling with traffic. Shouts, honks, voices all surged into my ears. This is the sound of the human world. Vibrant and passionate. I took a deep breath. No smell of disinfectant, only the scorched scent of asphalt heated by the sun, and the smell of earth. Smells so good. An engine roared. A fiery red convertible. The car stopped by the roadside like a flame. The body reflected light, dazzling. The window rolled down. Yi Qingqing wore sunglasses, a black leather jacket, big waves, and fiery red lips. She took off her sunglasses. Her peach blossom eyes carried a smile. Director Jiang making a lady wait in the scorching sun. That's not a gentleman's habit. She tapped the steering wheel, her diamond bracelet glinting. Or did you plan to stay in there overnight? I laughed a relaxed laugh. Sorry. I opened the passenger door and sat in. The leather seat held the warmth of the sun. Just saying goodbye to the past took a little time. Yi Qingqing turned her head to look at me. Her gaze lingered for a few seconds. Then she curled her lips, put her sunglasses back on. Done saying goodbye? Done. Then hold on tight. She floored the accelerator. The sports car surged into the traffic. The push of acceleration hit, wind rushed into the cabin, messing up my hair. This speed is addictive. The radio was playing the new news. Jiangshi Group officially today. Rang the bell to list on the exchange. Opened with a surge of 30%, market value breaking 100 billion. The new chairman of Jiangshi Group, Mr. Jiang Qi, stated that the future would focus on new energy and artificial intelligence. Yi Qingqing turned up the volume and shouted, "Hear that, Chairman Jiang? You're now a billionaire bachelor worth 100 billion. I leaned back in the seat, watching the scenery recede outside the window, tall buildings, passers-by, all flashing by. It's also thanks to President Ye's excellent leadership. I shouted back, without Yi family's investment, Jiang Qi wouldn't have bounced back so fast. Don't be a smartass. Yi Qingqing swept her hair back with one hand and winked at me. Tonight at the celebration party, you have to dance the first dance with me. If you dare step on my foot, I'll pull the investment. As you command, my queen. Sunlight spilled across his face. The fine down on his skin was clearly visible, vivid and real. No longer the vicious female supporting character. No longer a tool. She was a partner, a comrade in arms, and maybe even more. The car drove onto the elevated road, the view opening wide. The great river surged, its surface shimmering. That sense of moisture filled my chest. No longer a groveling simp, nor a vengeance-consumed avenger. I am Jiang Qi with a career, with a life. With allies. The road ahead is long, maybe storms will come. But so what? The steering wheel is in my own hands. Wherever I go, the scenery is beautiful. I closed my eyes, feeling the touch of the wind. A smile tugged at the corners of my mouth. This is rebirth.